Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Last night, we discussed the significance of Charles supposedly catching COVID for the second time on the 56th day of the Pope's age, and how that connected from the Pope and the Society of Jesus, or the Jesuit order which he represents, to the royal family, to the virus itself, coronavirus, which means crown virus, and the king wears the crown. Somebody left a great comment about the woman who played the part of Queen Elizabeth in the film The Queen, where she won Best Actress. And not only did she win Best Actress, but she won it on February 25th, 225, the 56th day of the year. I want to go back and look at this film, which won 96 awards, was nominated for 97. Kind of reminds of Diana, who got divorced in 96 from Charles, the next king, and then who died in 97, 1 year and 3 days after the divorce, supposedly hitting Pillar 13 in the tunnel in Paris, France, 56 land, where the Jesuits are from, the Society of Jesus, and here we are in the time of the first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, the first to live in Suite 201, big number with that Jesuit cabal. The last French Pope was the 201st. Anyhow, we're going to really bring it together here, and it's just another reminder. The stuff they put in the movies, it's kind of like it was written. You know, the writing was on the wall. Diana buried on September 6th after the divorce in 96, the Queen about to turn 96, and the writing's on the wall. That's why this past weekend she talked about the new Queen, soon to be. Days later, rumors that Charles, her son, the king to be, might have gotten her sick with the crown virus. Let's put it all together here. I think I got a fourth book once I finish my third book, just with the royal family in this ritual. But if you go to the IMDb page, you can see all 96 wins for the film The Queen, about Elizabeth, and its 97 nominations. The only one it didn't win, it was nominated but didn't win, was Best Screenplay by the writer, which we'll get to. But the Oscar win was the Best Actress, and couldn't have been a more fitting date. But again, just to read a little bit about the film. The Queen is a 2006, lose those zeros in the middle, 2-6. Queen Elizabeth began becoming the queen on February 6th, the date written 2-6. Her coronation was June 2nd, another day that can be written 2-6. Depends on where you are in the world. In the UK, they write the day before the month. Here in the US, we write the month before the day. So both February 6th and June 2nd, the 2 days associated with the queen, the day she became, the day her reign began, and the day of her coronation. They're both 2-6 dates, and in Gematria, Queen is 26. Queen is also 62, and both dates can be 6/2. But anyway, 2006, like 26. She was 25 when her reign began, which means she was in her 26th year of life. But again, The Queen is a 2006 British biographical drama film that depicts the death of Diana, Princess of Wales, in 97. Initially, the royal family regard Diana's death as a private affair and thus not to be treated as an official royal death. This is in contrast with the views of Prime Minister Tony Blair and Diana's ex-husband, Prince Charles, who favor the general public's desire for an official expression of grief. So again, the film starts with the drama of Diana's death. And keep in mind, it was in a tunnel where no one could see anything that was going on. She supposedly hit Pillar 13, and it was 1 year and 3 days after the divorce. We'll bring it all together here. But The Queen was directed by Stephen Frears and written by Peter Morgan. We'll talk about how they matter, as well as Helen Mirren, who portrayed Queen Elizabeth. And again, 96 wins, 97 nominations. Starts with Diana. Again, divorced in 96, buried on 9/6, dead in the year 97. 97 is the 25th prime. The Queen became the Queen at age 25. And as for the director Frears, his full name, Stephen Arthur Frears, equals 96. And we're talking a lot about this number right now. Again, Diana, 9/6 burial, divorce in 96, Super Bowl 56, will feature the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati's the Queen City. They come into the Super Bowl 8-6 versus the opponent, the Rams. The last time the Bengals and Rams played each other, it was in the United Kingdom, where the Queen is, October 27th, 2019, a game at Wembley Stadium. Last weekend, Queen Elizabeth recognized the Queen to be Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, also 96. And remember, this is Super Bowl 56, Royal Family's 56. Queen Elizabeth became the queen when her father died at age 56. And again, yesterday, Charles supposedly got sick and might have given it to his mom, Elizabeth, on the 56th day of the Pope's age. Remember, Royal Family 56, Society of Jesus 56, COVID vaccine 56, coronavirus 56, climate change 56. Philip said he'd like to come back as a virus, the Queen's husband, to help depopulate the world because of the whole climate change thing. Fratelli Tutti is the Pope's encyclical about what to do about climate change and COVID. And I should have had on that list Paris, France is 56, because that's in that same cipher. Paris, France is 56, where the Jesuits are from and where Diana died. So, just make your mental note. Paris, France, 56, same cipher, the most pure cipher. Helen Mirren, who played the Queen, got the award on the 56th day of the year for Best Actress. The other thing about Helen Mirren is she's 76 years old right now. And again, in gematria, it's based on the alphabetic order, forwards and backwards with numerology. Tiger equals 59 and 76. Queen Elizabeth's a fire tiger. This is the year of the water tiger. Water puts out fires. Diana and Charles were married on July 29th, which is International Tiger Day. Notice how Helen Mirren is 59 in gematria, and her birthday makes her 76 years old at the time of this ritual. And keep in mind, Joe Burrow, the star of the Cincinnati Bengals, who was a LSU Tiger who beat the Clemson Tigers in the college championship, his dad was a pro athlete, and the Super Bowl is exactly 76 days after his father's birthday. Okay. There's a lot of notes here if you want to read my post, but I'm just going to try to hit some of the primary things first for people who are short on time. The writer of the Queen, he's going to turn 59 in April. London, England's 59. Special number there. He's 58 right now, which is another noteworthy number for Masonry and secret societies. But he's going to hit 59 April 10th. And here's the thing about Peter Morgan. If you've read my first book, Letters and Numbers, I talk about the significance of Diana dying 132 days after Queen Elizabeth's 71st birthday. And just using the most simple cipher, the alphabetic order here, I'll write it out again. Well, first notice that Peter Morgan in the most simple cipher is 132. In that same cipher, so is Princess Diana. And Diana died reportedly. I mean, there's no proof that she died, unless you just believe what the authorities tell you, which is what most people are used to doing. But Princess Diana reportedly died 132 days after the Queen's 71st birthday. And keep in mind the word royal is 71. When you run the alphabetic order in reverse, England is 132. And, it's the same thing going on over here. United States of America, 132. The United States of America was named that on September 9th, 1776, a span of 132 days from the establishment of the Bavarian Illuminati on May 1st by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt. And the Jesuits served the Catholic Church, which is 132, like Roman Catholics 132. And again, Charles' ritual yesterday perfectly synced with the Pope, who's the head of the Roman Catholic Church. So Diana dies 132 days after the Queen's 71st birthday. Don't forget Stairway to Heaven came out in 71. But we'll get to that. Anyhow, Peter Morgan. Perfect, right? This is how the story begins, with the controversy of Diana's death. And, with regards to the U.S. and royalty and bloodlines, we get articles every election cycle to remind us how many of the U.S. presidents are part of royal bloodlines that go back to the UK and Europe. Every year there's an election, they remind us about this. How many rooms are in the White House? 132. What is the White House named after? A Catholic architect. You see? What's above the Prime Minister's door in the UK? the Jesuit order's logo like a setting sun, like the phrase, the sun never sets on Britain, because they've colonized the whole damn world. And again, the Jesuits have taken over the world through Britain. It was the perfect landmass, strategic, Anyway, this is the history of the world, the false history of the world. And what I'm doing here is lifting the veil. The U.S. never got free from the UK Jesuit Catholic Roman Empire. And neither did a lot of these places that supposedly declared their independence. Asian nations, African nations, South American nations, it's all part of this Jesuit Roman Catholic Royal British Empire. And that's why you got the sun setting, but never all the way above the Prime Minister's door. If you missed my work on why 10 Downing Street was established the day it was in relation to the Jesuits, you should go back and check out that work, or be sure to pick up my new book when it comes out. Anyhow, Helen Mirren, she gets the top honors. The film wins 96 awards out of its 97 nominations. I mean, think about how impressive that is. Wow. Again, it's all scripted, like we've been saying forever about these award shows. We didn't just learn this with this. I mean, I've been pointing this out for years. Not to mention they sacrifice human beings every year for these award shows. It's all about that ritual sacrifice of human beings, just like in the story of Jesus, because it's the Society of Jesus that runs the show. And it's all lined up with the sun, like how in the English language we use sun to describe Jesus, the male offspring of God, and also the thing that some people worship as God in the sky, the sun. Anyhow, it was the 79th Academy Awards. She got Best Actress for playing the Queen February 25th, 2007. And notice, where Society of Jesus is 56, again, it was the 56th day of the year, where it's 56 forwards, it's 79 in reverse. Remember, Anthony Fauci equals 56, little Jesuit scumbag. The pandemic declared by the numbers March 11th, 2020, his 79th day of being 79 years old. Big numbers with the Jesuits, forwards and backwards, 56, 79. The 79th awards on the 56th day of the year, and the ultimate foreshadowing. And with regards to the date being February 25th, again, Queen Elizabeth's birth name is Elizabeth Alexandra Mary, 225 with the alphabetic order, like the date 2/25. The awards are in the U.S. That's how we write it over here. I know people in the UK are like, but we write it 25/2. Well, it was in the U.S. We write it 2/25. That's why you got to look at it both ways. And then her name in the most pure cipher, 99. Remember, 99. Her husband died at 99 on April 9th, the 99th day of the year, the guy that wants to come back as a virus. And then, funny enough, May 20th, day we're looking at that she could kick the bucket, that's the day leaving 225 days left in the year. And from her son, Charles, getting sick on the 41st day of the year, that was 99 days before May 20th. And keep in mind, this past weekend, well, if you're on my Patreon, you know that we were talking about how the Queen's death is near, probably at 96, synced up with the Super Bowl with all the 96. And not to mention, May 20th is 96 days after Super Bowl 56. From the Super Bowl to the day leaving 225 days left in the year is 96 days later. And that'll be the anniversary of Billy Cannon dying, which matters because, again, it's the Jesuits. Ignatius of Loyola was shot with a cannonball. The reason Billy Cannon matters is because Billy Cannon died the day that Joe Burrow, the star quarterback of the Bengals, transferred to LSU. And Billy Cannon played for LSU. And Joe Burrow and Billy Cannon are the only two LSU players to ever win the Heisman, the highest honors for college football in the U.S. Very rare it's 1 out of thousands receives it each year. And again, Billy Cannon won the championship for LSU over the Clemson Tigers, the LSU Tigers, the Clemson Tigers. Here we are in the year of the Tiger. In the first ever Ignatian year, which began on May 20th, 2021. Again, Ignatius Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits, shot with a cannonball. Billy Cannon dies on the anniversary. Cannon equals 25. The Queen became the Queen at 25. You know what I mean? 97 nominations, the 25th prime. Burrow, 97. But the other part about the NFL now is Billy Cannon's connected to 4 professional football teams. He was drafted by the Rams, who the Bengals are playing in the Super Bowl. He was drafted number 1 overall like Burrow, and he played for 3 teams. He never played for the Rams. He was traded from the Rams to Was it, I forget exactly, I think it was the Houston Oilers, who are now the Tennessee Titans. But anyway, the three teams he ended up playing for in his career were the Houston Oilers or the Tennessee Titans, the Raiders, and the Chiefs. And Joe Burrow in the playoffs has beaten the Raiders, the Titans, and the Chiefs, and he now faces the Rams. Those are the only four teams Billy Cannon's connected to. And keep in mind, I'm the person who 2 years ago flew down from, I'm up here in the Pacific Northwest. Louisiana's way down in the Southeast, almost as far away from me as it can be. But I was so irked by what they did in the fourth quarter of the college championship that I went to LSU to educate about the death of Billy Cannon and all the people who died in that city of New Orleans for that rigged championship where LSU won the championship. So many people died for Joe Burrow. And if you've been following my work about what's going on in this NFL season, people are dropping dead all over connected to Cincinnati for Joe Burrow and their rigged championship. All of the world of pro sports is rigged by this same code. The game is rigged. The Jesuits control the world until they don't anymore. And that's the purpose of my work, not just to educate about it. I'm trying to get people to stand up and burn it all down, because that's what needs to happen. From the Prime Minister's headquarters to what's going on in D.C., to all these sports teams, they all need to go. It's all part of one big rigged, sick system. It's meant to control the minds of the masses, and it does a damn good job, and I've been watching it my whole life. When Diana died, that's all anybody cared about forever, and I couldn't figure out why. I was like, don't people have their own lives to worry about? I mean, some princess died in the UK. I mean, why is this all you care about? Why do you care so much about a sports game where you're not playing on that field, where you don't know anyone on that field? What, just because they're in your city? None of the players are from this city. They're all from all over the place. It's funny that we got 50-some people on the team, not a single one's from this damn city we live in. And you wonder why they don't give a shit about you. Anyway, isn't it all just a little bit too perfect? Charles gets sick 99 days before the day, leaving 225 days left in the year. And again, we were talking about this before the Queen came out and made her announcement about how Camilla's near, which sounds a lot like Kamala, who took the White House at age 56. It's all connected. It's all a big script. And I mean, you should understand that with what I'm showing you. The movie, all of it. The awards. But yeah, Prince Philip, he said he wanted to come back, help depopulate the world as a virus. Don't forget that the show Utopia was made in Britain. It released January 15th, 2013, a two-season show, Utopia, about billionaires faking a pandemic so that they can vaccinate and sterilize and depopulate the world. The conspiracy in the show is called Janus, which is like the month of January. It's what it's named after. Janus translates to Gates. Bill Gates, very much the face of the pandemic. And again, that's because he has the birthday of Jonas Salk. On his birthday, the movie Inferno came out, part of the Da Vinci Code series, starring Tom Hanks, the first celebrity to get COVID, born in 56. Not to mention Melinda Gates turned 56 the year of the pandemic with the same birthday as the Jesuits from a Jesuit family. But again, Bill Gates has the same birthday as the greatest vaccine savior ever, Jonas Salk. And again, that's all part of our false history. Elvis Presley got the polio vaccine on live TV 42 weeks after his own birthday, on Jonas Salk's 42nd birthday, on Bill Gates' first birthday, and that's because vaccine equals 42. And that's why the vaccine went live in the UK with Maggie Keenan and William Shakespeare, first people to get vaccinated for COVID in the world, we were told, on Bill Gates' 42nd day of his age. And then just on 4/2 in February, the 42 month, the CDC came out and said a lot of people's hearts, might suffer some problems, because maybe the vaccination schedule allowing them to just be 8 weeks apart, which is 56 days, was too close. But again, Prince Philip dies during the time of the pandemic, being on the record saying, "In the event that I am reincarnated," kind of like Jesus, huh? Society of Jesus. Funny how Society of Jesus equals coronavirus equals COVID vaccine, and Event 201 was the coronavirus simulation put on by a Jesuit, Klaus Schwab. And from that day to the first confirmed case of COVID in the world was a span of 56 days later. "I would like to return he says, in the event that I am reincarnated, I would like to return as a deadly virus to contribute something to solving overpopulation." So again, Charles got sick, reportedly, on his 89th day of his age. Virus equals 89. On the same day as that headline, this headline also broke. The co-discoverer of HIV dies at 89. And remember, the first confirmed case of HIV was in 1968. That's the same year coronavirus was coined. If you ever heard what Kary Mullis said back in the 90s about Fauci and what he did with HIV to send funnels of money to certain people's pockets, unfortunately, he's the man who created the PCR test that's being used worldwide to diagnose people with COVID. Kary Mullis said in the 90s that Fauci, he called out Fauci specifically, he said he's taken my PCR test and he's using it and abusing it and misusing it to falsely diagnose people with illness for the sake of agendas and putting money in certain people's pockets. You think maybe Anthony Fauci? Again, Kary Mullis died right before. Coincidentally, Kary Mullis died from pneumonia. And now when people die from pneumonia, they call it COVID pneumonia. But Kary Mullis coincidentally died from pneumonia right before the pandemic started. And imagine if he were alive. Imagine if he were alive. Do you think he'd be calling out what's going on? Do you think he'd be the most credible source of calling out what's going on in the world? I think he would. The PCR test is what's confirming all the COVID cases. He's the one who invented it, and he's the one who said 20 years before any of this happened that Fauci was misusing it for the sake of agendas. But anyway, for more predictive programming, go back and watch the movie Contagion, starring Sanjay Gupta, where he talks about standing 6 feet apart and social distancing, a decade before the pandemic. But if you go back and watch Contagion, where it starts with a bat and a pig, kind of like what they told us at the beginning of COVID, they use that number 89 so much in that movie. Virus is 89 in the most simple cipher. It's also the 11th Fibonacci number, like how the movie came out in 2011, 11 the master number, like how the pandemic was declared on March 11th, synced up with 9/11. Sorry, my book is Number Games, 9/11 to Coronavirus, because it's all connected. 1968, the year of coronavirus. HIV, the year World Trade Center construction began in New York, the year 911 was made national emergency dialing code, the year George W. Bush graduated from Skull and Bones with a graduating class of 911 members. And if you guys have been here since the very beginning, one of my earliest theories is that this code was being taught to certain elites through the education system. And originally my initial thoughts, from what I could tell, was that it was the Ivy League schools and the Jesuit schools. Lo and behold, JFK once coined the term Jesuit Ivy, and he did it on the day leaving 201 days left in the year, like the Jesuit Orders 201. And again, don't forget, Stairway to Heaven has the lyrics about a spring clean for the May Queen, and Brian May was the writer for Queen, and that song came out November 8th, 71, came out 201 days after Elizabeth's birthday. And in 71, Stairway to Heaven, Royal 71. Diana, born July 1st, dead while the Queen was 71. So we're told. It's just a spring clean for the May Queen. And, you know what else is wild? Again, the band Spirit sued Zeppelin because they said Stairway to Heaven was a copy of their song Taurus. May 20th is right about the time that Taurus transitions to Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Freddie Mercury, the frontman for Queen. Astrology, numerology, the Cabal, the riddles, the Bible, the story of Jesus, the Son of God. He spoke in parables, riddles. Every day we're trying to solve riddles. We're often solving them and solving the puzzle before it happens. We did it with Prince. Prince ended up dying on the Queen's birthday. Prince wrote the song I Would Die For You, spelled it with the number 4, the letter U, used the 21st letter. I Would Die 421. He dies 421 on the Queen's birthday. But notice the song Taurus was recorded in 67. Remember, King equals 67, Queen Camilla equals 67, Helen Mirren equals 67, Super Bowl 56 is 67 days before the Queen's birthday. Isn't that interesting? The band Spirit records Taurus. They sue Led Zeppelin for winning it off. Led Zeppelin ultimately wins the lawsuit. But isn't it just so interesting? I mean, was it written this long ago? I imagine it was. That's what I've been saying for a long time, that I think the Jesuits have planned out a lot of our history. And I think sometimes if these old people kick the bucket before they're supposed to, they just keep it under wraps, and then they report it when they want to. I said this with John Madden. You know, nobody had seen John Madden for a decade, and I said, you know, I probably said it 7 years ago. I said they'll either report John Madden's death at 83, and if he doesn't die at 83, then they'll report it at 85. And the reason I said those 2 years is because football's 83, and National Football League is 85. And then he dies at 85. First Super Bowl he ever worked was Bengals 49ers. Now the Bengals are in the Super Bowl after his death. Not to mention John Madden equals 47. He died 47 days before the Super Bowl. The first Super Bowl was in the 47th season. And there's a reason for all of this stuff, but John Madden, dead at 85. The Bengals face the Rams in their 85th season. Brady goes out, picking up his 85th career loss to the Rams in their 85th season when National Football League's 85 and Brady's 85, and so is the Jesuit motto, Isus Hominum Salvator 85, while Pope Francis is 85, the first Jesuit pope. Again, from these rock stars to these sports stars to these royal family stars, they're all under the Jesuit thumb. You know, they're the ones controlling the script. And there's a lot more that can be said about all these things. I mean, I've covered it all in recent days. I don't want to hit too many things because I want people to focus on the main points that are trying to be made. But if you want to go back through these posts and read them, there is more information here. And again, gematria, it's the alphabetic order forwards and backwards. King is 67 in reverse, but it's 41 forwards. The news about Charles getting the coronavirus, where corona means crown, the second time, it comes on the 41st day of the year. And King is 41 in the most simple cipher. 41's the 13th prime. Diana died 1 month and 3 days after the divorce, supposedly hitting pillar 13 in the tunnel. And, yeah, if you go through the notes, I have some additional stuff about the significance of the 13. If you write out the title of that film that seems to foreshadow the Queen's End, the Queen equals 41 as well. Helen Mirren's full name, Helen Lydian Mirren, is 91, which is the 13th triangular. Spirit also equals 91. Again, the Zeppelin, Spirit connection, Taurus, the song. And Stephen Frears, the director of The Queen, was also born in 41. Keep in mind, Super Bowl equals 41. And again, this Super Bowl features the Queen City, Cincinnati. Their third Super Bowl. When you write out 3 as a word, when you spell it out, T-H-R-E-E, T's the 20th letter, H is the 8th, R's the 18th, E's the 5th, E's the 5th, 3 adds up to 56. When you write out light, L-I-G-H-T, L the 12th letter, I the 9th, G the 7th, H the 8th, T the 20th, you add it up, 56. Genesis 1:3. Diana dead 1 year and 3 days later. Light 3. They both equal 56. God makes light in Genesis 1:3 to start the beginning story for the Abrahamic religions, the 3 Abrahamic religions. Abrahamic, A is 1, B is 2, R is 18, so on. Abrahamic adds up to 56. And then when you use numerology, don't forget Paris, France is 56, like Society of Jesus, like Royal Family. What a place for Diana to die, and clearly a ritual that foreshadows what's coming for the Queen, who replaced her father who died at 56. And it all being told through Super Bowl 56. Now, for all the people out there who are leaving comments like, I'm betting my whole house on the Bengals in the year of the Tiger, I do favor the Bengals, who are the underdogs, but I want you guys to understand one thing to think about. I never tell anybody to bet the house. I don't think that's wise. I always say never bet more than you can afford to lose. That's the rule in gambling. If you break that rule, you will break yourself eventually. Always. Everyone who stays in this community, and there's a lot of people in this community who've been following me for years and building their bankroll, they make smart, efficient bets. And parlays can be very powerful with this knowledge. And hedge bets are always smart. But here's the thing about the Rams, who don't have much value because they're huge favorites in the Super Bowl. The Rams are favored, the Bengals are the underdog. This is the one thing to think about with the fact that the Bengals come in 8-6. 96 does appear to be the stronger riddle, especially since it's the year of the Tiger and the Super Bowl's on Lupercalia, where Rams are sacrificed. But here's the one thing you got to think twice about. Queen Elizabeth II in the most pure cipher is 87. The Bengals do come in 8-6. They could very well go to 9-6 in their 96th year of life for all the reasons we're talking about. Joe Burrow born in 96, Cincinnati 96. Number 96 sacrificed his father in the divisional round of the playoffs. But here's the one other thing. If I got it right, Diana, Princess of Wales. Yeah, I do. It's also 87 in the most pure, and notice what's also there, 213, like the date of the Super Bowl. You see? So that is something to think about. And they're also playing games in the news. And again, you can't take a story like this and think it necessarily means. But this is a story that broke yesterday, the same day as the royal family news. The Blank Park Zoo in Iowa. Joe Burrow is from Iowa. So is Kurt Warner, who's friends with Joe Burrow's father and who coached Joe Burrow a little bit growing up. Kurt Warner is the last Rams quarterback to win the Super Bowl. But this zoo in Iowa, they put out this story that they taped an LA Rams thing to the wall and a Bengals thing to the wall, and whichever one the Tiger licked was the winner of the Super Bowl. That was the game they played. Well, the Tiger licked the Rams logo. And realize all this stuff is rigged, right? I'm sure they put some kind of scent or flavoring on it so it would go lick the right one. But they like to put this stuff out there, and you could look at this another way. Somebody will just laugh at this, but, you got the Tiger licking his chops, essentially, with the Rams that gets sacrificed on Lupercalia. But again, they didn't do this in Iowa and make this a national news story by accident. This is where Joe Burrow and Kurt Warner are from. Again, the last Rams quarterback to win the Super Bowl. Not to mention, Kurt Warner had a movie come out about him on Christmas. And as we pointed out on Christmas, that movie came out 50 days before the Super Bowl. While Kurt Warner's age 50, Kurt Warner equals 50. Again, it's... they give away a lot of clues in their entertainment. And with regards to the name of the tiger, Misha, let me just show you what's in that name, Misha. You see how Misha's 50 and 85? Again, it is the Rams' 85th season. Kurt Warner, the movie about him came out exactly 50 days before the Super Bowl while he's 50. Kurt Warner's also 50. Brady's retirement was just now perfectly synced with Joe Burrow. Brady, who's 50 and 85 just like Misha, beat the Rams in his second season. And he beat him in Super Bowl 36. Jupiter is the tiger-striped planet. So in the first day of the year of the Tiger, Brady, after losing his last career game, his 85th loss to the Rams, who it all began with, who he beat in the Super Bowl, in Super Bowl 36, now in this Super Bowl in the year of the Tiger with the new... Well, again, if Joe Burrow beats the Rams, he's going to do exactly what Tom Brady did. He's going to beat the Rams in his second season. But here's how wild it is. This NFL season began on September 9th, 9-9. It features two quarterbacks who are number 9 versus number 9. And what's very interesting is you see how Jupiter's 99 forwards, 36 with numerology, 90 in reverse. What's wild is the quarterback of the Lions, Matt Stafford, who also wears 9. Matt Stafford comes into the game with 98 career losses. He can get his 99th loss in the season that began on 9-9. The biggest star on the field's the defensive player, number 99 for the Rams, the guy we used to call Super Bowl in the 99th season outcome before the season began, why the Patriots had beat the Rams. That was Brady over the Rams again. But what's wild is Stafford's also on 89 career wins. He's on 98 losses, 89 career wins. So no matter what happens for Stafford, he hits the Jupiter number. But if you follow this knowledge, you'll know this in sports. For every 3 times, let's say you had 4 games where you had to, and it's not always this tight, but some riddles are tight. Some years it's just a easy as can be call. Some years it's like, man, they made this riddle tight. Anyhow, if you watch this, 75% of the time, the number on the left will beat the number on the right, the forward cipher. So, and again, 99 is the bigger number here. 99 is the bigger number here. Stafford can't get that 99th loss in the season that began on 9-9. Prince Philip's a big part of this, dead at 99. The Queen's a big part of this, whose birth name is 99. I don't believe her birth name has a 90. You know what? Let me double check that real quick. Oh, I went to a different post. Let me make sure her name doesn't have a 90. but I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Elizabeth Alexandra Mary. Yeah, it doesn't have a 99, or it doesn't have a 90 in it. So, but yeah, I mean, again, you learn your numerology, your astrology, your gematria, you'll dominate the world of sports like we have. Again, if you guys aren't familiar with what I've done in the last 8+ years, it's unprecedented. So college, pro, all sports. We've gone international with some stuff. People really want me to start focusing more on international football, but again, it's easier to do this when you know about the sports, and I don't really follow international football. So there's, by the way, there's a man who retired from his job, and now all he does is decode international football. He lives in Canada, and he's been doing it for like 4 years now, making a living. And he writes me, and he's always so grateful. Sends a tip every now and then, but he's changed his life. He doesn't have a job. He makes his money now as a full-time gambler taking advantage of international football. He learned from me. I didn't, anyone can learn this knowledge and apply it. This is the way the world is rigged. If you want to deny it, well, you're just denying the truth, So I don't need to make any more correct predictions to prove the point. I've been correctly predicting everything from sports to when they pick a royal baby's name is Charlotte. I called that before it happened. Why it was going to be Charlotte at the time. And speaking of Charlotte, again, just one more time, somebody made a great observation here. Did I add it to the bottom of this post? Okay. Just one more thing to close out with. Jewish gematria is where you get the values for bigger numbers. From Charles' first diagnosis of COVID, March 25th, 2020, to his second diagnosis. You know what? I see the joke now with the March 25th and now on the 41st day of the year. Okay, March 25th can be written 25/3, like 253, the 22nd triangular number. King is 22. And then on the 41st day of the year. Okay, March 25th is also the 84th day of the year, like Jesuit. But from the first diagnosis to the second was 687 days later. Queen Charlotte in Jewish gematria is 687. And Charlotte alone in the base ciphers is 102, like how the date his second diagnosis can be written 10/2. So Charlotte, she was born in history May 19th, the day right before May 20th that we're looking at, and that's another possible day. I mean, that could make sense. COVID-19 on the 19th, right before May 20th, could work. May 21st, the day that it transitions from Taurus to Gemini. Again, Freddie Mercury, Gemini ruled by Mercury. That whole group of days right there, May 19th, May 20, May 21, I think those are the dates like right in there. I really like May 20th the most, but those dates. Okay, the thing about May 21st is if you count that day through December 31st, that's the total of 225 days. That's why May 20th leaves 225 days left in the year. That three group of days is what I got circled for the demise of the queen. And it's not like I'm wishing her a death, even though these people are evil and sick, I don't really want to wish death on anybody. I don't think that's good karma. But understanding the way these people ritualistically work, what I know is when we do nail predictions, it's always when the community grows by the most. And if I hadn't been censored so many times, I guarantee you I'd have over 1 million subscribers by now. After Prince died and my prediction was dead on, the channel grew rapidly in 2016. That was the biggest year of growth, and that's why we got shut down early in 2017. And we've been nonstop shut down from the censorship ever since. But here's what somebody caught with the point I made last night about Charlotte. Shout out to Matt Towers. He looked up how on May 20th in 1775 there was something called the Mecklenburg Declaration, which is a disputed piece of American history. Isn't it funny it was May 20th? Supposedly the 13 colonies declared their independence from the UK then, but it didn't get recognized in the history book. And again, that happened in Charlotte. Isn't it interesting? Forgotten history. So, by the way, Mecklenburg alone equals 111. The Queen's born on the 111th day of the year, April 21st. And where we started with the director's name, it is 96 forwards. In reverse, it's also 111. And again, that's the thing about knowing the ciphers forwards and backwards. The guy who writes the the screenplay for the Queen that gets 96 awards, And it looks like the Queen's going to go in 96. And again, it starts with Diana and everything that happened to her in 96. But anyway, in reverse, 111. Her birthday's the 111th day of the year. The 111th World Series was won by the Royals over New York, the 111 city. And by the way, we called New York Mets to be in that World Series in spring training. And I didn't have the Royals in there in spring training. I didn't know who the American League team was going to be. But it made sense once it all came to be. I was like, oh, the Royals, okay. Queen born on the 111th day. Okay, I see what they did. New York, the 111 place, September 11th on the day, leaving 111 days left in the year. I see what they did. But again, that was many years ago now. I was an amateur at that point, and the expertise just grows day by day, year by year, because that's what happens when you put in work every single day. And that's the one thing that's the honest to God truth. I've done this every single day since August of 2013. Studied it more and more, looked at it more and more. And that's how it's gotten better with time, like a fine wine over here. Oh, by the way, the police chief resigned in London yesterday on 10/2. Funny, I was just out hollering on the corner of Yakima about the ritual with the murder of the police officer in our town after he got national attention for calling the governor out and he said Jay Inslee can kiss his ass here in Washington State, and then he died 102 days later as a police officer. So on 10/2, the head of police, steps down. 102 in the UK, they read it 10/2. Gotta like that name, Cressida Dick. Weren't we talking about all the dick jokes? Aren't we always talking about that? With all the trannies out there, who knows? And also, if you missed my work on the Ben Simmons thing yesterday, his full name equals 210. The date can be written 2/10 or 10/2, and it was a big tribute to slavery. If you missed this work yesterday, it was also about from Australia to the U.S. to the U.K., came 205 days after Ben Simmons' birthday, United Kingdom 205, all these big news stories out of the U.K. on the same day. And I said before this happened why he was going to get traded on this day in a tribute to slavery as a member of the 76ers in the 76th season in the Year of the Tiger. Where slave is 76, he's a 76er on 10/2 with the name Simmons. You see how it lines up with the ciphers? His dad was a professional ball player in Australia. He was a Melbourne Tiger. Ben Simmons born in Australia, part of the British Empire that the sun never sets on. And again, if you missed the video on this yesterday, you should watch it because there's a lot of good information in there. And the bigger part about the Bible and 76. And again, this came in the U.S., this ritual, on the anniversary of Gerald Ford, former president, declaring Black History Month, February 10th, 76. And notice Ben Simmons finishes with the 76ers with 275 games in the regular season, going right with the president, the anniversary of the federal government holiday, and the team he played for. And Ben Simmons, they had him sit out a lot of games in his career, and like I've been telling people for years, these guys are so staged managed, it becomes so abundant when they finally pull off the huge ritual with them. So that's why those of you guys who are out there who are like, so what are you saying? Like, it's just like a big coincidence. It's like, you just watched my video and you thought the point was it's a big coincidence. Did you miss the 50 times I said the Jesuits are running the whole show? Nothing about what I'm showing you is a coincidence. I'm not saying any of this is organic. Ben Simmons was benched 1 million times as a perfectly healthy young star player. It's because it was all planned for him to go on this day with this many games under the belt. That's what I'm saying to you. All the fake injuries, all the rituals. We've documented this stuff 1 million times. He gets traded as number 25 at age 25, 205 days after his birthday. That's a lot of 2-5 on the anniversary of Gerald Ford declaring Black History Month. Back in 1776, by the way, Philadelphia, important city, gets its name from the Bible. It's all biblical. Acts 7:6 is about slavery. Barack Obama, 76, the first black president, number 44, Acts, the 44th book of the Bible. He's traded for James Harden, whose name equals 44. But again, in 1776, when the nation was founded, when the Illuminati was established, it was built on the back of slavery. And again, that's who we are. That's who we are. We're the slaves to this cabal. You don't have to be black and part of history to be a slave. If you're living today and paying taxes to these governments, you're a wage slave. Make no mistake about it. If somebody benefits from your labor and they don't have anything to do with it, you're a slave. I wouldn't say that because you work for somebody that makes you a slave of them, because while they're benefiting from your labor, you might be benefiting as well. But when there's an outside third party like a government that just taxes you and your boss and doesn't have to do jack shit, that's who you're a slave to. And again, that's why they got everybody so distracted with all the entertainment, so they forget what they even are. You know, they don't want to think about how they're a slave. They don't want to think about their own shitty life. They want to go home and turn on the TV and watch a sitcom about somebody else's life. Man, I wish my life was like that. Man, little kids growing up thinking, I can escape this poverty I live in if I can dribble the basketball and shoot like that. And maybe you can, and then you get to the NBA, and then they make you look like an asshole like Ben Simmons. If you guys watch Ben Simmons, he acts like he doesn't know how to shoot a basketball. It's a big inside joke, because it's all just theater, scripted theater, in tribute to history, day after day. You know. But yeah, 205 days after his birthday, United Kingdom. I should have also noted James Harden's very much associated with the number 13, James Harden. He's traded in this trade with Ben Simmons on the 41st day of the year. 41 is the 13th prime number. There you can see his 13. 41 is the 13th prime. He was traded 168 days after his birthday, like New York City's 168. But you could also say he was traded on his 169th day of his age. That's the square root of 13. 169 has square root 13. So double 13 for Harden. And think about how that is. How is that even possible? That the 41st day of the year happens to be the 169th day of his age, and both numbers have a mathematical connection to 13. Well, there's two ways to look at it. Either he was the perfect born specimen, born and bred to be what he is, which is very possible. How many people grow to be over 6'6" or however big Harden is? You know, NBA is a league of giants who don't know their fathers. That's because their fathers are former players and they're all breeding like horses and they're not talking about it. That's the big inside joke. Or they do what they've done with a number of celebrities. When they get their title, their birthday changes. We've documented this so many times. And they give them a new birthday that's planned for, you know, their future script. Case in point, one of the best examples is Lamar Jackson, who became the 19-year-old college football sensation at Louisville right after the death of Muhammad Ali, which we predicted, dead on. Right after Muhammad Ali's 19-mile funeral procession in Louisville, then we get the new 19-year-old star athlete in Louisville, Muhammad Ali's hometown. And all throughout Lamar Jackson's college career at Louisville, it was a short career because he went to the NFL soon, but his birthday was the same as Muhammad Ali's. But then he goes to the NFL, and his birthday changes. All of a sudden, he has a new birthday. Everywhere online now has a new birthday for Lamar Jackson. It's like, that's interesting. Had Muhammad Ali's birthday, now he doesn't. So, and by the way, you guys, I forgot to say one more thing. But I'm going to hit it right now. I meant to say this a lot earlier. The woman who they had play the queen, Helen Mirren, her birthday's July 26th. That's the day leaving 158 days left in the year. Kind of like the Jesuit birthday, August 15th, 15/8. But with regards to that 158, we recently had a man replace a woman as the prime minister in a big ritual. Remember, from the day that Theresa May took office, July 13th, 2016, which was all part of the David Cameron Brexit joke, which we covered then by the numbers. Brexit 33, she takes office on 13/7, like 137, the 33rd prime. England's also 33. But from the day she took office to the day that she was replaced by Boris Johnson, exactly 158 weeks later. Boris Johnson 158. The movie The Queen foreshadows the end of the Queen and the coming of the King. You know? And I think we'll get a little reversal over here in the U.S. We'll get our first Queen Kamala, very similar to Queen Camilla, probably around the time that Kamala turns 59. And again, I put out a prediction the day of the inauguration for Biden that Kamala will replace Joe June 1st, 2024. I don't know, for certain that that's going to be the day, but I bet I won't be too far off. She'll be 59, 59th election, number stamped all over Black history. Pope Francis 59, the 59th presidential election. that Biden became number 46 was exactly 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday. Catholic 46, the only Catholic president before that. JFK killed at 46. John F. Kennedy equals 59. Biden wins the 59th presidential election, become the second Catholic president. Did JFK even really die? Did Diana even really die? I wouldn't be surprised if none of them died. All that matters is the story that goes out there and how it impacts the mind's eye of the masses that's played with day after day. And the 1960s assassinations created a generation of scared people in the U.S. who were afraid to go against authority. That's what they learned. From the MLK assassination to the 2 Kennedy assassinations to the numerous other people that were killed in that decade, including Malcolm X. You go against authority, you might get your head blown off. That was the lesson learned. Yeah, there's more that could be said, but we're going to leave it right there. Can you guys learn the code? If you can't afford my books, you can download them for free. Go to my other channel, Gematria Effect News 24, which is suspended. And it's suspended because I went out and did, the American people a great service. Should have been, promoted to the top by Google if they were a free speech platform looking out for the people of the world, but instead they struck me 2 times and put me in a long suspension and another channel on the verge of getting deleted just for going out and doing the right thing. But while that channel still exists, just go to it, Gematria Effect News 24, open up one of the most recent videos, look in the description, and the link to download both of my books, Letters and Numbers and Number Games, are there. Or if you want to support the work, you can buy it from my website. That's another option. You can download it for free. It's the exact same thing. It's no different. It's the full book, whether you want it for free or you want to buy it. You can also buy them for free, or you can buy them at gematriaeffect.news. I'm tempted to just make a link below it to download for free also, but I do worry that if I do that, no one will support the work. Ultimately, I don't mind if some people support the work, but by all means, I don't care if you download it for free. It's just I think if I put a free download, no one will buy it. And I am trying to raise revenue so that we can make something big happen. I don't know. It seems like it's a pipe dream at this point because, I feel like the financial support would have come in a long time ago from the people it should come in from. But a lot of you guys, I want you to all out there to think who don't donate to any of the truth speakers in this community, the people doing God's work. I want you to think about who you are spending your money on. Are you giving it to the evil corporations? Are you giving it to the evil fast food restaurants? Are you giving it to the things that enslave us and exploit us? Is that where your money's going? And if it is, I want you to really think about why that's the only place you're willing to give your money, and you can't make a donation to somebody who's doing the work to try to free us from this system that poisons us purposely. Why are you willing to give your money to the poisoners? Is it because you're addicted to their products, because you're entertained by their products, because you like the way it is on your taste buds? And if that's so, I really want you to think deep about that. Are you under mind control and don't even realize it? It's like you're partly awake, but you're still under enough mind control that all you're essentially doing with your power, and that's what our power is in this world, our financial resources. We have more power than that, but that's the thing that keeps the system going. We give our money to the things that have power over us, which keeps them having power over us. I've been asking a large group of people to empower this movement so that we can do what needs to be done. Hire a big team of people. Have our own news stations in major cities so that when stuff happens, there's a team of people there that can break out and support. And again, I don't understand why there's not at least 1 million people in this world that can't donate $1 a month. Can you imagine if I had $1 million in revenue coming in a month, supported by 1 million people who only pledged $1? That's nothing out of their pocket, but then now we have the resources to employ a group of people in London, New York, Los Angeles, all the major cities. $1 million a month? You can pay a lot of people a good salary. I've been calling on this type of thing for years, and thank you to the 6,000 people who've stepped up and done it. Thank you. I just wonder where the other 900 and some thousand are. But anyway, if people aren't going to support the work, the next best thing is just to get it out there. So if you go to Gematria Effect, or here's another way to just do it too. If you search Subscribestar, Zachary K. Hubbard, this is another page where you can donate. I haven't even set up the thing here. I didn't ask for anyone to donate to this page, but it looks like 5 people have subscribed. I don't know if that means people have pledged. I haven't even set up the thing to get financial resources from this. But the only reason I set up this page is because they said they don't censor, and I just wanted a place where people could download the books for free. So this is the page that gets linked through the description of Gematria Effect News 24 to download both books for free. And You know what I'll do? I'm just going to do it right now. It might cost me some book sales, but here's the other way that we'll make it so you can get there. Go to gematryeffect.news, my website. No one's going to censor this. And what I'm going to do is edit the top pinned post that's always here. And down at the bottom, I'm going to write this. If you cannot afford the books but want to read them, here is the link to download Number Games and Letters and Numbers for you know what? That's too many ampersands. For free. Here is the link. So when you click on that, the link part, it'll take you to the page. And again, Letters and Numbers is my more recent book. Number Games is my first book. I become a lot more advanced since Number Games. Letters and Numbers is a little bit more advanced book, but doesn't have as much topics. I mean, I really think everybody should read the first chapter of Number Games. Pretty sure I get into Queen Elizabeth in the first chapter of... or did I say Number Games? I meant to say the first chapter of Letters and Numbers. Well, you should read the first chapter of both books, really. But Letters and Numbers is all about why there's 26 letters in the English alphabet and the powerful significance of the number 26, where its meaning comes from. It'll blow your mind. It connects astrology, human anatomy, history, Kabbalah. It'll blow your mind. Chapter 1 of Letters and Numbers. And... yeah, Letters and Numbers is my first book. Number Games is my more recent book. And then my third book coming soon, which has the stupidest title yet, but I'm hoping the stupid title will help bring some more people in. The third book will be called Illuminati Confirmed, the Jesuit Order. And people might look at that as a joke, but the Illuminati is a real thing established by the Jesuit Order. And again, I bring it all together, but some people might look at the title and be like, that sounds cheesy. The Illuminati Confirmed. Anyway, it's all for a reason, but it's coming soon. And I was saying that it's going to be done soon before the Queen probably kicks the bucket. If she does kick the bucket sooner than I expect, that's going to have to get tucked in. But if she does kick the bucket in May like expected, I might just do either a second edition of the book I'm working on right now, or maybe I'll just put out a really short book about the royal family, connecting Diana's death, the Corona rituals, the royal family, the Super Bowl 56. I could do that in a 50-page book. Maybe that'll finally be the short book that gets everybody. So maybe I'll have a third book here. Well, I will have a third book here real soon. Maybe I'll have a fourth book right behind it. Maybe after we get back from Oklahoma City on April 19th, educating about big agendas. Again, that's the day Oklahoma City blew up, blamed on Timothy McVeigh, the day Ignatius of Loyola became the first superior general of the Jesuits. Ignatius of Loyola 201, the Jesuit Order 201, Timothy McVeigh 201. And the title's so perfect. Illuminati Confirmed, the Jesuit Order 201. That's why I did it. But, yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll put out 2 books this year. So... oh, by the way, on my BitChute channel, the video finally processed. It only took 12 hours for it to process, but it finally did. If you missed the video that got censored yesterday on Snoop Dogg buying Death Row Records, it's now up on BitChute. So you might want to check that one out. I'm starting to use the BitChute a little bit more, and I'm getting worse views than ever. But if you missed my live stream that I got in trouble for on YouTube, it's also up on BitChute. On the scene, Richland, Washington, Fred Meyer shooting. So, anyhow. Well, Andrew Spratz, I see, before I sign off, I see Andrew Spratz comment in the chat. He says, I need to give more work back to the people who do the sports. Man, I've given you guys a ton of work, man. I've taught you guys all the knowledge. And again, what I'd say back to you, Andrew, is... you know, you get way more than your money's worth, and you got to use your own mind. And realize, I mean, I can decode sports all day, or I can try and wake people up to what's going on in the world. I try to do a bit of both. But at the end of the day, if you pay attention on my Patreon, the majority of the people that support the work, they're not there for the sports. I mean, look at a live stream when I do sports. How many people are in the live stream? 300 out of the 6,000 people are on there. The majority of the people support my work because they like what I do exposing the evil in this world. So, again, pay attention to the percentage of people that support and for the reasons they do. It's actually not for the sports. But again, Andrew, I can hear through your comment, And I am going to do more. I am going to do more. And think about in the past where I've done it every single day. I mean, I did it every single day, the sports, every single day, 7 days a week for over a year's time. So there was a lot to learn in that period of time. But ultimately, the majority of the people who support the Patreon, they don't care about the sports. That's why out of 6,000 people, 300 will be on for a live sports stream. So, anyway. Oh, yeah, and shout out to Neo the Hacker. If you guys aren't following Neo the Hacker in the chat, doing great work. He has a good reminder about Jerry Springer, who was born in London and was the 56th mayor of Cincinnati. And let's just pull that up real quick. And think about what Jerry Springer's brought to the U.S. culture. Trash. Tabloid trash. Perversion. Evil. Jerry Springer, born in London, February 13th, 1944. The Super Bowl's on the 44th day of the year. And, yeah, the 56th mayor of Cincinnati. You don't think that these are all bloodlines? And again, this is what they do. They rule over us. They're the rulers. How do they rule us? With distraction, entertainment, perversion. I don't think there's a bigger piece of trash in this world than Jerry Springer and his trash. This is another thing just growing up that I couldn't believe people like to watch. I just couldn't believe it. Like, everyone was obsessed with his show. And I just thought, why? I mean, this is the ultimate trash. You know what else is the ultimate trash? Professional sports. It's the ultimate trash. That's the thing, you guys. It's a society of people, and again, I hate to hurt people's feelings, but I speak facts. It's a society of people of low intelligence, low ability. It's a society of spectators. I guess I was blessed to be intelligent as a child and a good athlete. I used to run circles around everybody on every sports field I played on. Domination, you know? Domination. I used to do the same thing in the classroom. And that's why as a young child, I saw that pro sports were rigged. It was just so obvious to me. And it's become way more obvious since I was a child. The games are way more rigged now. They're way more ridiculous than they used to be. But I just knew as a child there was no way a man getting paid millions of dollars could make the mistakes he could. Or a coach could make as stupid of a decision as he would. It just didn't make any sense. Didn't matter if I was watching the NBA, the NFL, whatever. And it's just gotten way dumber in the last 30 years since I was a child. But, yeah, my whole life I've just been looking at all this stuff and just thinking, what is wrong with people? Look at where he's born. Highgate. Perfect. That's the perfect name for authority. Highgate. I got it just for kicks. This is a great find. This is a great find here, Neo. Just for kicks, let's see. Let's see what his name equals. Wow, 111 like the Queen. 312 is a number with good old Pope. 228's like the United States of America. Springer alone is interesting. Jerry Springer, what he went by. Look at that. 79 like Society of Jesus. Man. 169 square root 13. 83 the 23rd prime. King 23. Yeah, that's amazing. Notice what day it ended, July 26th, the same day that's the birthday of the woman who plays the Queen. That's interesting. And I was saying that's the day leaving 158 days left in the year. Check something real quick. I know in my decode this morning I saw something with 92 and 273 and I didn't write it down. God. I got to stop closing the cipher thing. Yeah, I closed it. Well, there's the 273 actually. The 273 was in the director's name for the Queen. Springer's show started on the 273rd day of the year. I forget what the 92 piece was. It's not still up there. By the way, if you guys want to check out the work that I upload on BitChute that's no longer on YouTube, you can search Gematria Effect News or my name, Zachary K. Hubbard. So, yeah, I'm going to do some more work on Jerry Springer. Great work, Neil. I've seen you post that a number of times, and I keep forgetting to look at it. So many things to keep straight. All right, you guys, we'll leave it there for now. Until next time.